Howdy, public library friends. My name is Rachael, Education Specialist at the Topeka Zoo, and today we are going to meet one of my favorite animals at the zoo. Now, going along with our summer reading theme of Imagine Your Story, we are going to meet Lily the turkey vulture. Lily has a really interesting story that I want to tell you guys about, and after that I'm going to bust some myths about turkey vultures because sometimes they get a bad reputation that they do not deserve. So let's first talk about Lily's story. So Lily is 19 years old now, which is a very old age for a turkey vulture. In the wild, they generally live about 20 years. But with humans, they can live even longer because they have excellent veterinary care, food, water, a nice big habitat, no predators. But Lily has been at the Topeka Zoo for several years now. And the reason is because when she was younger, she was a wild turkey vulture. She was born out in the wild. She hatched out of her egg to her parents in the wild. But what happened was, before she opened her eyes, when she was just a few days old, a storm came through. And that storm blew Lily out of her nest and onto the ground. She was living in a nest that was really high up in a barn. Well, the farmer of that barn found Lily after the storm had ended. Now, usually if you find a baby bird, it is okay to put it back in the nest. However, that nest was way too high. That farmer could not reach it to safely get Lily back. And so he called the Northeast Kansas Wildlife Rescue Unit. And my boss, Dennis, went out and got Lily. Well, the really interesting thing about turkey vultures is they do something called imprinting, which means when they open their eyes for the first time, the first thing they see, they think is mom and dad. So when Lily opened her eyes, she was in human care. And the first thing she saw was a human, which means that Lily the turkey vulture 100% believes that all of us and her look exactly the same. She thinks she is a human. Now that's good for us because we can use her for education purposes, and she loves being around humans. She is a very social bird, but unfortunately that meant she could not be released back into the wild. She didn't know she was a vulture, she didn't learn how to vulture, and she would not have survived had we released her. So she has been with humans for the last 19 years, and she is one of our favorites because she has such an amazing personality, and she is a really good animal to talk about in terms of reputations. So people sometimes see turkey vultures, also known as buzzards, and they think they're dirty. They think they're gross because they eat dead things, or they circle around the sky telling you where dead things are. But turkey vultures are really good for us humans for a variety of reasons. The first thing is that they are scavengers. Yes, they do eat dead animals. That is what a scavenger is. But think about that. Do you guys want a bunch of dead animals along the roads, in our yards, in our green spaces? No. So having animals like coyotes and opossums and turkey vultures around who eat the dead things clean up our world. It makes it nice for us to see. And it keeps it healthy for us. Not only is she eating the dead animal, she's eating any of the bugs, the blood, the bacteria, the disease that animal is carrying. So they are Earth's cleanup crew. I like to call them the garbage men and women of the animal kingdom. They're eating all of the dead things and making it safe for us. Ooh, she's showing you how she flies. So turkey vultures, although they eat dead things, they are actually very clean. If you notice, she does not have any feathers on her head and on her feet. The reason for that is because when she's eating the dead thing, let's say a deer gets hit by a car. When she's eating that deer, her head and her feet are the parts of her body that are really in the deer. She sticks her head in deep, her feet are touching it, and so by not having any feathers there, it allows her to stay clean. She's not getting any of the blood or the grossness on her. Now, if you guys look, you'll see that she's got this beautiful black coloring to the feathers on her body. That is because black is the color that absorbs the heat of the sun the most. If you go outside on a hot day and you wear a white shirt and then you switch to wearing a black shirt, the black shirt is going to make you hotter because black is the color that absorbs the sun's rays easier than white. So by being black, the reason she is that color is because if she's eaten a dead thing, if she has any bacteria or bugs on her, all she has to do is open up her wings, spread them toward the sun, and the sun, which is attracted to that black coloring, fries the bugs and bacteria off her. It literally cleans her up after she's eaten the dead animals, which I think is fascinating. Now, turkey vultures, they do circle in the sky, but it's not for the reason that you think. They're not just circling dead animals. They're actually doing a really smart move. Turkey vultures are not quite as smart as parrots in terms of intelligence, but they are up there in terms of smart birds. They know how to conserve their energy. So, when you see a vulture in the sky, when she is circling around, what she is doing is riding the wind currents. The wind currents, which are called thermals, go around in a circle like this. And so Lily and other turkey vultures, when they are flying, they know that they can ride the wind. Think about it. If you've ever been in a mall or an airport and you've had the option to move from a lower level to a higher level, you usually have two options. You can take the stairs, which uses a lot of your energy, or you can ride an escalator. Now, let's be honest, most of us choose riding the escalator, right? Because we don't have to use all of our energy. That's what she's doing. They go in a circle because they're riding the wind currents. If you see turkey vultures in the sky, you will very rarely see them flapping like you do other birds, because they realize that flapping uses a lot of energy, whereas simply gliding does not. So, most birds do not have the ability to smell. Turkey vultures are exempt from that. They actually can smell pretty well. So behind her beak is actually a hole, and that hole you can see through, and the wind blows through it. And at the back of that hole are her nostrils. So what happens is she's in the sky, she's riding the thermals in a circle, and she is smelling. She is smelling for dead animals. The deader something is, the better it is, because the more it smells and the easier it is for her to find. So, let's say she's over here riding a wind current in a circle, and she gets a whiff of a dead animal in this direction. She might catch the next wind current, then the next one, and once she sees that dead animal, then she'll fly down and eat it. So it's not that she's circling dead things, she's just riding the wind currents until she finds the dead thing, and then she'll come down and she will eat it. Now, turkey vultures, they don't have too many predators once they are an adult, but when they are on the ground eating dead animals, that is when they are most vulnerable. Things like mountain lions, coyotes, bobcats, they can get a vulture on the ground eating. So she has a really neat and kind of gross defense mechanism. Turkey vultures actually projectile vomit at their predator. That's right, they throw up as a defense. And when they vomit, it can go up to 6 feet away. Now this does two things. One, it distracts the predator, right? It makes them think, oh, what just happened? I was about to eat that turkey vulture and now I have vomit all over me. And two, she's gotten rid of some of her stomach contents. She's feeling good. She's able to fly off. So they do vomit on their predators, but it's not something that you really have to worry about. Now, turkey vultures, as scavengers, they get a bad reputation, but they do not deserve it. They are really good for our ecosystems because they eat the dead animals and they keep our world healthy and free of disease. So if you see a turkey vulture or other scavengers like coyotes, opossums in the wild, don't think they're dirty or gross. Thank them for the wonderful work they do to keep our world clean and healthy. Now Lily here, she's one of our favorite animals at the zoo. You can find her in this back bird run, which is not open to the public, but we do pull her out for education programs all of the time. She's such a smart bird that we have to oftentimes change the logs in here for enrichment. We give her different sorts of toys and puzzle feeders. She is one of our favorite animals, and we love telling her story so that you guys know that vultures are good to have around. So thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your summer reading and programming, and we hope to see you at the zoo soon.